Hello, welcome back. Today we are going to learn about the conditional statement. Till now we have learned how to take input from the users. But what if we want our program to make decisions? Decision based on statement. Okay? For example, if you are checking whether someone is eligible to vote or not. Okay? So what are the eligibility? The person should be greater than 18. The age of a person should be greater than 18. So how we can use this condition? With the help of conditional statement. Fine. So let's look one after another. There are multiple conditions. Okay, first let's look at if statement. Okay, so the first condition is if. So here what does the if statement do? It will check whether the condition is true or not. Okay, if the condition is true, then it will execute the statement. Fine. Else what it will do? It will ignore the block of statement. Fine. So let's start with the example. Equal to int input, enter your age. Now we will check whether the age is 18 or not. Okay, so this program is basically for whether the person is allowed to vote or not. Okay, so we have taken the age. The next step is to check the age. If age is greater than or equal to 18, then what will happen? Print allow to vote. Okay, so you can see what we have taken, age as a variable that will store the age of a person. If the age is greater than 18, allow to vote. Okay, now let's run the program. You can see enter your age. If I enter say 13, so 13 is not greater than 18 or equal to 18, so it should not allow to vote. Okay, so you can see once we get 13, age 13, we don't get any output. Why we are not getting output? Because if the age is less than 18, then there will be no output. Remember the definition of if statement. If the condition is true, then it will execute the block of statement, else it will skip. Fine, clear? So again I will run this one. Now I will add age as 23. Now you can see allow to vote. Fine. So this is the if statement. Now let's look the advanced version of if, that is if else statement. Fine. Say age equal to int input, enter your age. If age is greater equal to 18, print allow to vote, else not allowed. Okay, now let's see the difference between if and if else. Okay, in if the condition is true, then only the block will execute. Okay, whereas in if else statement, if the condition is true, it will execute this statement. If the condition is false, it will execute this statement. Fine, clear? So what is the definition if else? So it allows to execute both the block, either the true block and the false block. Okay, so now let's run this one. So enter your age. For example, now I will enter as 12. Now you can see not allowed. When the condition is false, when the condition, this condition doesn't met, it run this block. Okay, if this condition will met, then it will run this block. You can see I will run again. Say now 20. You can see allowed to vote. Which block is running now? This one. Why? Because this condition is true. Clear? So this is how it works. Fine. Now let's see the other version of if else, that is if elif else. Okay. I will explain one by one again. This one execute only once. Okay, if the condition is true. This one will execute more than one time. That means if the condition is true, it will execute. If the false, it will again execute. Okay, that means it has two options. Whereas the third one, if we have multiple case to execute, okay, then it is helpful. Okay, fine. So we'll see about the if else else example. Okay, so with this we are going to complete the if else statement. So let's start. Marks equal to, say, int input, enter your marks. So int. So we'll have multiple condition to check. For example, if the marks is greater than 90, we'll print as grade A. If the marks is greater than 75, we'll print as grade B. If the marks is greater than 50, we'll print as grade C. Else we'll print as fail. That means we have multiple case to execute. In case of multiple case, what we'll do, we'll use if elif else. Clear? Now let's check if marks is greater equal to 90. Print grade A. Elif marks is greater equal to, say, 75. Grade B. Elif marks greater equal to, say, 50. Print grade C. Else if these three condition doesn't match, then what we'll say, fail. Else clear? So this is how the if else work. That means when we have multiple case to execute. First case is marks greater than 90, second case is marks is greater equal to 75, third case is marks is greater equal to 50. Fine. If all these three cases doesn't match, it will run this case, that is the else case. Okay, now just let's run. Say I will randomly add, say, 67. Enter. The mark grade is C. Why C? Because the marks is less than 75 but greater than 50, which is grade C. Fine. Again I will run and show you another example. Say for example I will add here 40. You are fail. Why? Because it falls under this block. Clear? So this is how if else and if elif are different from each other. First case is if it allows only one time to execute. If the condition is true, then only it will execute. Second is if else. Okay, we'll go here. If else, it allows if to execute if the condition is true. Okay, if the condition is not true, it will allow the next block. Clear? Whereas in if elif else, it allows multiple case to execute. Clear? If, elif, elif, and else. Clear? So this is how we work with if and elif else. Okay. Now let's look at the nested if. Okay. So we'll talk about the nested if. go to the file, nested, nested if dot py. What is nested if? And if inside if is called nested if. Clear? That means the if block will be inside the if block. Clear? For example, age equal to input, enter your age. Next, I will take a citizen. Citizen equal to input. Are you a citizen? Uh, yes, yes and no. Clear? This one is just to demonstrate the nested if. Okay. So if age is greater than equal to 18, citizen equal to yes. And what will say? Print. Print. You can vote. Yes. Print. Then required to vote. Okay, let me explain. So what is nested if and if inside the if? You can see this the inner part. This is actually inside the outer if. Okay. So this if is closing here, else, if else. This if is closing here. Okay, this is the inner if, this is the outer if. Okay, clear? So first of all, what it will do? It will check for age is greater than 18. If age is greater than 18, then again it will check whether it is belongs to the citizen or not. If it belongs to the citizen, then you say you can vote, else citizen required. Okay, clear? Now let's run. Say 18, say 19, say no. Citizen required to vote. Why? Because I have typed no. If I would have typed yes, then it will have allowed to vote. Clear? So this is how the inner if work, that is the nested if. Clear? About the if and the nested if. Thank you.